morning to you, my Sen brother, said sister, my non-binary said sibling. It is Monday morning, and I am on my way to work, and this is not the video I planned, but it is the video that's happening. What's happening? Hot stuff. Do you remember that movie? Here on this channel, I very often bring you ridiculousness. You know, that reminds me of a joke. Is this thing on? And I use perfume as the background to just chat and be silly, because that's what I like to do. But sometimes I have something to say, something that has helped me, something that has so profoundly touched me and my life and helped me that I can't not bring it to you. Today's video is part of the series where I take books that have changed my life. They've changed my point of view. And I sent them so that we can talk about them with perfume as a backdrop. I'm not saying you need Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. I'm saying I needed it, and here's why. I'm going to do something that resonates with me. The book is called Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday, and it came into my life at exactly the right time, as books do. The premise of the book is that ego is the enemy, hence the title. And so by way of introduction to the book, what I want to say is that ego has nothing to do with confidence. It's not confidence is the enemy, it's ego is the enemy. The two are entirely mutually exclusive, actually. They ne'er shall between me. I want to talk about a perfume, and then I want to dive more into the book. Before all of this started, this perfume was my quote-unquote signature scent to wear to work. And I always got compliments on it, and people recognized me by it, and it was kind of the only one. I wore this one to work, and then I had Black Opium to wear at night, and that's where I was at, folks. And I started a YouTube channel about perfume because I bought another one that I didn't like. This is Burberry Brit Rhythm Floral for Her. That's a lot of things in that. That's a lot of words. That's a lot of words. This was my signature scent. It was the only one that I had to wear to work. Funnily enough, I knew nothing about perfume. I still don't, but I know what I like. The perfumer, funnily enough, is none other than the very talented Mr. Francis Kurkdjian, the perfumer who is responsible for, he has his own perfumes, but he also makes perfumes for other houses. He also made Her for Burberry, and it has a similarity to one of his creations, which swept the fragrance world away, which was Baccarat Rouge 540. This is by that same guy. This scent is not something that I would gravitate towards now, but for whatever reason I really enjoyed it when I sniffed it in Shoppers Drug Mart, which was the only place to go. I want to tell you a little bit about this perfume, and that it's not really me. I lean toward gourmand right now, but this is spectacular. It's a year-round work fragrance for me. The top notes are really fruity, and the mid notes are really floral, and the base notes are musky and woody, because that's what perfume is. But it's the actual fruits and flowers that I am astonished that I even like this. In the top, there is Sicilian lemon, peach, which I don't like in real life, but do like in perfumery, I'm finding out, passion fruit, bergamot, and orange. So there is that fruity top, and so this mid has lotus and lilac, for goodness sake, Egyptian jasmine, oceanic notes, melon, which I know I don't like, and lily of the valley. What is this perfume? What on earth could this smell like, and why do I like it? It's a mystery. There's jasmine in there. There's melon. There's peach. Lily of the valley? No! And then the base notes are typically what you see in any perfume. There's musk. Hi Marcial, I hope you're well. He says that all the time. Check his channel out. Woody notes, driftwood. So it's got that dryness. Caramel and amber. And I'm actually shocked. There's no way there's caramel in here, but caramel is one of those notes toward which I gravitate now. I had no idea what a note was when I first got this. I knew nothing about anything. I'd never heard the name Francis Kurkdjian, and I didn't give a rat's. That's this perfume, and I know that this is where I used to be. I used to be a one perfume girl, and you know what? I smelled amazing. And you know how I know that? Because I loved the way I smelled. I would come home after work and Ryan would hug me and he'd say, you smell good, which meant that it lasted all day. Students would walk into my classroom and go, oh, Miss Pixie's here. That's what they used to call me. And so they knew me by my scent, which means that they could smell it. I would be in my classroom and students would come in and say, I could smell you in the hallway. This is a proven, tried, tested, and true scent that could last the test of time for me. And I haven't reached for it at all. Why? Why have I not reached for this? I don't have a huge collection of bottle babies, and I never want to. And that's sort of who I am. This is a gorgeous, light, fresh fragrance that is floral, but somehow, I guess through familiarity, I really, really love it. And I'm so glad that I rediscovered it. I've used it because this was all I had. Isn't that amazing? Back in the day. The reason I chose, the scent that I chose, the Burberry Brit Rhythm Floral for her, is because it reminds me of a time when none of this hurt my feelings. None of this was a big deal. It was smelling water. I smelled good. I loved my life. My husband loved the way I smelled. And I never went to bed really upset thinking somebody I've never met unsubscribed to my channel because that meant that I was a bad person, that I did something wrong. But that also means that I did something right when that person subscribed. But that's not true either. So you will see, if you do venture over to watch the 4 agreements, you will see Maria Colette, hi sweetie, I hope you're feeling better, left a very astute comment on that video, and she said, so if we're not supposed to take the negative comments personally and seriously, then really we shouldn't take the good comments personally either, because one of the 4 agreements is to not take things personally. Truer words have never been spoken. If we are not to take the negative personally, then we are not to take the positive personally. I want to talk to you very quickly about the Ryan Holiday book. Ego is the enemy. My ego has functioned in my life, all of my life, in a way that that was so sneaky that I didn't know that that's what it was. Ego isn't necessarily talking yourself up and saying, oh, I'm the greatest, oh, I'm this, and treating other people like dirt. That's not necessarily what ego is. Ego can be the exact opposite, treating yourself like dirt so that other people have to lift you up. That's a very, very interesting lesson that I learned and I'm still learning. The ego is the one who tells you that you are not good enough in an effort to have you perform some action, whether it be a self-deprecating comment or climbing Mount Everest, that will give you the recognition that your ego needs. I'm not saying that climbing Mount Everest is an act of ego. I'm not saying you need this book in your life. I'm saying I needed it in my life, and I'm telling you why. It's littered, filled with stories from history and philosophy, amazing quotes absolutely incredibly inspirational scenarios and situations. There's a little bit of his own story floating in the background. I can't suggest this enough. I am not saying that you need a book called Ego is the Enemy at all. I'm saying I needed that book and I didn't know it. And so I strongly suspect that folks who think that they don't need it, because I was always putting myself down, I thought I didn't need it. And it turns out that this book was written for me. This book is set up in 3 sections, and they are the 3 phases in your life that repeat themselves over and over and over when you have a goal. And so they go like this. The first stage is aspiring. The second stage is success. And the third stage is failure. And you can jump from one to the other over and over and over in your life, and indeed he argues that you do. You don't have to apply this to perfume. This is about anything in life where you've set a goal. A goal needs to be humble in its aspiration, whether it is a business, a relationship, an amount of money, anything that you're manifesting, I would say, this works. If it's a YouTube channel, if it's a friendship, if it's a business, being humble in your aspirations means that you know why you're doing it and you're coming from a good place. Being gracious in your success is so, so important. You get to choose what success is and what grace means in that situation. And you get to be the one who measures what success is. And to be resilient in your failures. As much as you are the judge of what your success is, you are also the judge of what your failure is. And I think they are actually the same, 2 sides of the same coin, success and failure. I think that I could never have come to this point without what I thought was failure. Failure to have such and such a number in my analytics at such and such a time. But that was my greatest success, was recognizing that my metric for success sucked. And now that failure has become my greatest success. It's been the most rewarding thing because I can come to you and very casually tell you that I'm no longer concerned with the number, the number of people, and I am only concerned with the people. Editing Yulia here. I am here just to say that this video is officially over and that what follows is just me telling you where I'm at in terms of how I feel, and that's got nothing to do with perfume and nothing to do with why you might be here. So I am just going to sign off here and hope that you enjoyed Burberry Brit Rhythm Floral for Her and Ryan Holiday's Ego is the Enemy. And I hope you join me again, my scent brother, scent sister, and non-binary scent sibling. To be humble in our aspirations, whatever that may be for you. For me, it is having this community on this platform, which means numbers are involved, but to be humble in my aspiration. I didn't want 1 million subscribers, but I forgot that. I wanted you, and I forgot that. The second one is to be gracious in our success. Who knows how? If you know how to be gracious, put your hand up. You see, you know what? The people that I know are gracious don't have their hands up. That's the power of humility. To be gracious in our success. Whatever your metric for success is, to be gracious. To acknowledge it. To say, this is where I am, and I am here by the grace of my scent siblings, by the grace of whatever. You can look at my subscriber count. I don't even like that word. I would say that these are folks who want to hang out with me. You're my scent siblings, and that is that. Subscriber count about it means diddly squat. The third phase of the book is to be resilient in our failures, because they're going to come, because we're going to fail. Whatever our metric for success is, and whatever our metric for failure is, they're often very, very close. What is my metric for success on this YouTube channel? It's you. And what is my metric for failure? It's when this thing becomes stressful to me because I lost a subscriber, because I posted a video. The thing is that I was losing the most subscribers to videos that I frickin' loved. I love this, and I love the community, but I also love the stupid little skits that I do. And the bartender maybe can't hear me, but I bet you he can smell me, because I am wearing Intense Cafe. Woohoo! Have you ever seen some of those ridiculous things? Those are my favorite ones. That's what I was here for. I was here for perfume in the background, kind of fooling around in the foreground. And so the count would go up and down, and sort of so would my heart, and my reason for being would go up and down. And I was really having a really hard time with this entire resiliency in failure, because it's taken, I've been doing this I think since February, and I've had the most amazing support you could possibly imagine. And I only have the number of subscribers that you see on the screen at this moment. And that's the last time I'm going to say that, because I couldn't care less if it was the three of you who I know are watching, who I love so much. My people found me. Something happened along the way to this finding my people, or having my people find me. And I started to care about how many people watched my videos and how many people subscribed to my channel. Ego is the Enemy is a book by Ryan Holiday that I started reading because I was getting upset. It wasn't happening fast enough. It wasn't happening furious enough. The right people weren't responding. Wow. What does it mean to be gracious in my success? What it means is that I will continue to acknowledge and freak out about every single comment that is left. I freak out. And I write it in the comments when I talk to you. When I see your comments, I'm lifted, I'm elated, and it's different with every single person. The actual what I get from it, I'm not gonna start listing names. But if I've ever written every time you leave a comment, it's because specifically you, whatever your little sort of, you know, the circle, whether it just has an H in it, or if it has a photo of eyelashes, if it has your name, if it has your channel, if it has your beautiful face, I can't even believe that you're leaving a comment. And so that is my success, and I think that I want to be gracious in my success and to talk to you, because that's success to me, is when you leave me a comment. That's what that is. That's my success. I thought my success was a number of subscribers, and a failure would be when a subscriber would unsubscribe. I suspect that lots and lots of people are going to unsubscribe to this video, and that's okay too. I suspect I'm going to see a drop in the number, but that's all it is to me now, is a number. If you're here with me, that's success. So what am I going to count as a failure? For me, every time I get hung up on those analytics, that's going to be a failure for me, because I know that's not what it's about. And I'm going to be resilient in that, and every time I see it, I am going to realize that I want, my friend Richard always says, the real ones. That's all I want. If you're not a real one, that's okay. We weren't meant to be. But if you are a real one, you're my success. And if the number goes down, And bye-bye, because those people were hard won. They weren't real ones. I will be back in this series. There are several books that mean so much to me, and they might help you. They might not. This might just be cathartic for me, but this is a series that I'm doing, and if you need to unsubscribe, you go for it. I know. Amelia Graham. Thank you so much, my stepbrother, sister, and non-binary.